So, I'm finally back at Anime Expo. If you've been following this channel for the last few years, then you would have known that the last time I went to Anime Expo was back in 2022. And to be completely honest, I found Anime Expo to be very overwhelming, but when they announced that my favorite voice actor, Gen Ito, was going to be in attendance, well, I decided to get a day pass. And yes, the crowds were definitely a bit overwhelming, but I started the day at the Kodansha panel.
For joining us on this next day of Anime Expo, we really appreciate you being here for the Future of Kodansha Publishing panel. For folks who may not know me, I'm your friendly neighborhood they them, and I am the Senior Marketing Director at Kodansha USA.
So in case you missed it, there were some pretty good announcements. First, we have Fruit of the Underworld by Ayakano. Yes, the same Ayakano that did Requiem of the Rose King. This series is not a shoujo, but I'm still very much looking forward to it because I love her work. Next, we have the Josei series, Drawing from Your Memory, which sounds really good. This is about a manga artist that unfortunately has plagiarized work, although they don't recall even doing that because there's some time traveling elements. The whole premise just really caught my eye, so I'm very much looking forward to this series. Then we have Love at First Memory, which, I mean, the cover alone is just so cute. I really want to read this. I mean, I love a good rom-com. Then we have the series Hitting Rewind with You. I know they look like high schoolers, but they're actually both adults that meet each other while they're wearing high school uniforms, so they both think they're in high school, but in reality they're adults, so there's no weird age gap. So the premise sounds a little confusing, but I think it's something that I would probably enjoy. If you're fans of series like Those Not So Sweet Boys and Love in Focus, then we have another work by Yoko Noguri. This is Love Out on a Limb. By the way, all of these series are going to be released in spring 2026, including Perfectly Fine on My Own, so my fiance can twist in the wind. What a long title, but I'm kind of digging the cover and the synopsis, so this one too kind of intrigues me as well. For the BL fans, we have a few titles to look forward to in spring 2026, including Voices in the Sea Foam by Kotaro. This was described like a darker Little Mermaid, which I'm very much intrigued by. Then we got Blue Summer Haze, which follows two boys who played baseball together since they were childhood friends, and then we follow them until they're in high school. This sounds like something that's probably gonna make me cry, just like What If I Said I Love You. Like, both of them are just gonna be like probably sappy reads for me, which I'm very much looking forward to. Then we got the LGBT series Smells Like Green Spirit, which tackles the homophobia and some of the prejudice that LGBT people still face in Japan, especially in rural areas. Apologies if I said that weird. English as a second language problems. And then we got the big announcement.
On par with series like Nana. In 2019, Kodansha actually partnered with Comixology Originals to revive this series digitally. But that wasn't enough. Every day, we get requests, both on the publisher form, through emails and social media. Yes, I've seen
internally from our own staff.
Yeah, internally from our own staff, to bring this back to print, because folks have been wanting to read this and it's been out of print for decades. So in 2026, we're so excited to finally be able to bring this series, and not only back in print, but in a premium hardcover edition with brand new translation, brand new lettering. We are happy to bring back Mars.
Yeah, I'm also fangirling.
So yes, we are finally getting Mars reprints, and they're going to be doing special editions. Yes, not a typical Kodansha 2-in-1. It's a special edition hardcover with a metallic foil, brand new translation and everything. I feel like they're gonna go all out for this, and I'm so excited to see it when it does come out next year. Then after the Kodansha panel, I got to meet a familiar face. If you guys are familiar with a lot of like Steel Ball Run content on TikTok and Twitch as well, you might recognize him. It's Will Fire Lunar. I got to finally meet him. Look who's here! It's Will! Then after the Kodansha panel, me and my friends stayed at the Yen Press panel because there was going to be a discussion with the creator of The Summer Hikaru Died, Moku Mokuren, and unfortunately I couldn't record a single thing. They keep their identity completely private, and they did come out with like a box almost covering their face. But the conversation was so good. I feel like I learned a lot about their inspiration as well as the series The Summer Hikaru Died. I feel like I left with a bigger appreciation for their work. After that, we were gonna try to get into the free run panel, but they capped the line, so we decided to explore a little bit and eventually landed on the line to eat something because we were starving and it was so hot. Oh my god, I underestimated how hot it was going to be outside. But then I found that a company using generative AI was here, and I just, I had to step on their promotional thing. I don't like that. At this point of the day, I was doing pretty good when it came to my anxiety and like controlling my sugar levels. I did get some coffee because my energy was a little low, and some tanghulu, I believe that's how you say it, which was really good. The strawberry was huge though. It was so hard to bite into. And then it was time to go into the Project Sekai panel. I found my people, the Kent Ito fans. And I will have more clips about this specific panel on my Miss Combos channel because that one's more Project Sekai based, but it was just so surreal to see Kent Ito right in front of me because I've been a fan of his for so long. I mean, for those of you that have followed me since the Wotakoi days, then you know that I've been obsessed with this man for literal years. Even before Project Sekai even came out. Then after that panel, we decided to explore the exhibit floor. I wanted to check out the colorful stage booth, which I didn't really see a big booth. It was just like merchandise. And then all of a sudden, by the Hulu booth, I see the man himself and I freaked out. So enjoy just this clip. He's right there, he's right there, he's right there. So that was the only clip I got because before I even reached him, I just removed my little camera pod from the necklace accessory. I didn't want to have that on me for him to be kind of like weirded out that I was recording him in secret. So I just like took it off and put it in my bag. I did ask for his selfie and if he could like autograph my CD. And I should have remembered this. Unfortunately with seiyuu, Japanese agencies are very strict with their image. So they don't allow selfies and they don't allow autographs either. I still figured I would at least ask just in case, like what's the worst that can happen? I just get told no, which is what happened, but honestly it wasn't that big of a deal to me. The fact that I even got to at least have an exchange and say thank you to my favorite voice actor was like a dream come true, and someone who's been a fan of his for years. Like I just never thought that it was gonna happen, and yeah, I was super thankful about that exchange. Also, I think he was kind of surprised that I was actually a fan of his and not just one of his roles, because when I took out the CD, he was like, oh, so that was cool. Then I found Tojo and Keishi from the series 10 Things I Want to Do Before I Turned 40, so I had to take a little selfie with my boys. And then it got really hot, and I mean, we were all really tired, so we went to eat something, and then I made my way back to my car, and then I had to drive from LA back home to San Diego. But it was actually a really good anime expo. I'm really glad that I came even for just one day. Was it overwhelming? A little bit, but I just never expected to fulfill one of my dreams of meeting my favorite seiyuu. I mean, that alone just made my whole trip worth it. And on top of that, I got to meet, some of my mutuals. I got to see friends that I don't see very often, and I got to meet a lot of people that also watch my content, which is always very special to me. If I take the time to think about how much I've changed since the last time I was at Anime Expo in 2022, my life has changed quite a bit. I've changed quite a bit as well. I struggle with anxiety, like I've said before, but sometimes it does kind of pay off to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation. Just go for it. And yeah, I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Either someone says no, you trip and fall, but you know what? You just keep going forward. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little vlog. I know it wasn't the most action-packed. I should have explored the exhibit floor a little bit more, but I was just so tired. So yeah, it'll be for another time. I mean, I still have San Diego Comic-Con to look forward to, so be prepared for that. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you all very soon in my next one. Bye bye.